Hi, my name's Allison Ng. I am a Level 2 QHHT practitioner in Pennsylvania. If you don't know what QHHT is, it is a hypnosis technique of over 45 years of history that helps you connect with your subconscious, or we can say higher self. Your higher self is you, and may be beyond what we can understand with our limited span of physical life on Earth. But deep down, we all have the inner wisdom, and we are all connected to our higher selves that have all the answers and all the powers. So during a QHHT session, I will help you relax and tune inward, and you'll be able to have your higher self answer your questions and release physical symptoms, physical discomfort if you would like. But if you want to know more, please check out some other videos in my channel. Today's topic is, what should you do after a QHHT session? The short answer is, you should go back to your life. Use the tools and information you got from the session to live your life fully. And that is the essence. When practitioners, including myself, tell you that it's important that you listen to your session recording and do what your higher self asks you to do, those are the means that help you refresh your memories of the session and help you stay connected, closely connected with your higher self. When you understand the essence that you need to learn, to grow, and to heal from your past experience, then you'll more likely think differently, behave differently, and break away from the old habits and old thought patterns that don't serve you anymore. You'll more likely take responsibility of your life and take back your power so that you'll live your life fully. There might be tests for you to overcome after a session. They are opportunities for you to apply what you've learned so that you can complete that lesson. But some people refuse the responsibility to heal themselves. They just wish their problems go away, taken away by someone else. And that is not what a QHHT session can do. That is actually not what healing is about. Healing is always about facing the unconsciousness, facing your true self, and do what you're supposed to do. Keep in mind, Dolores said, you will never be given more than what you're able to handle. So if you want to put your past trauma behind and complete your lesson, you have all the means, all the tools, all the information you need from the session. However, it's ultimately your choice whether you listen to the recording or not, you change your behavior or not, you do what higher self suggested or not. It is your free will, and I fully respect your free will. No one can override your free will. It's beyond what a QHHT session can cover. There's been discussions on the QHHT Practitioners Forum saying it takes a client at least several months to a year after a session to process the information before they can see a big change in life and realize what a wonderful gift the session was. Me, myself, got it fast. Took just a couple months. I have a handful of clients, I'd say less than 10% so far, or so got things on track fast. So I'm going to share my story about my personal experience after a QHHT session. So a little bit of background. My biggest problem used to be with my childhood and the relationship with my parents. I acknowledge that there are way harder childhoods out there, but growing up, I felt unwanted, unloved, and I always wanted to grow up quickly so I can leave home as soon as possible. But I was also divided. My parents didn't intentionally abuse me. They even paid for my graduate school so I can come to the US to study. So I felt it's somewhat my obligation to take care of them when they get old and ill, as they constantly demanded. But I don't want to. I know I will not be able to live like that. That's actually one of the reasons why I was always interested in healing as well. So back in January of this year, I wanted to figure out through a QHHT session if I actually owe it to my parents and if there's karma between us. During the session, I saw blank when this question was asked, meaning there's no karma. It felt like I observed my life from a higher level and from a different angle, and that made me feel better instantly. Then 2 to 3 weeks after the session, I was talking to my dad through a video chat, which doesn't happen often. And somehow I expressed my feelings of being unwanted and unloved when I was a child at their home. My dad started disagreeing with me and accusing me of the things that he always did. And I broke down. I started crying inconsolably and wasn't able to speak, but I managed to mumble the following words: I forgive you, I love you, I release you, and I hung up. He got very angry and texted me back saying things like, how dare you say you forgive? Who do you think you are? Etc. So what was going on, in my opinion, was a test. The universe put things in front of me for me to resolve by using the tools and information I got from the session. It was true that my emotions were still triggered, but I didn't feel like a victim anymore because I knew there's no karma. So while in pain, I did more inner work, dug deeper, and tried to figure out what's still there that's blocking me from letting this go. Then a few days later, my dad texted me at my 2 p.m. one day telling me he couldn't sleep. Well, it's 2 a.m. over there in China. He was having a super high blood pressure out of the limit of the meter and a heart rate of 170. He was alone at the suburbs while my other family members are away and asleep as it was 2 a.m. over there. He was physically very ill and emotionally terrified. So I asked him to lie down and I gave him relaxation instructions over the phone. After about 40 minutes, he told me he saw green color, as in some green light, and started to get sleepy, so I let him go. The next day, he told me he still woke up again in between, but in the morning, everything was back to normal. Okay, after that incident, I noticed that my parents changed. They started to listen to me. And I also, me personally, stopped only recalling the things they did that hurt me. I used to say I had a bad childhood, but now I would say I used to think I had a bad childhood. And you see the difference? So what do I think now about my childhood? I think it was just background story for this incarnation of mine. Human conditioning to shape the me today. I'm able to see from my parents' angle as well. It wasn't that they deliberately hurt me. They were behaving based on their perspective, their value, and human conditioning. Moreover, if I can love everyone without judgment, why can't I love my parents? After all, they are also God's children seeking their soul's growth. So that was my story. I know healing is a process, one round after another. I'm not entirely healed on every aspect, but my biggest roadblock was cleared, and I know what it's like, and I will embrace another one like that going forward. You may or may not encounter a test immediately after your session, but keep in mind you won't be given something that you can't handle. If you choose to give away your power by only seeking someone else to make your problem go away, I respect that, because everyone will eventually complete all the lessons just sooner or later. It's up to you. And here are some other what to do's after a session. Within a few days after your session, you might still be going through some healing, clearing, detoxing physically and emotionally. So be easy on yourself. Spend time in nature, allow yourself to rest, continue to eat healthy. And if you need support, remember to play the recording. If you don't have time during the day, you can play it while going to sleep. That way, at least you tap back into the loving and powerful energy of your higher self. Play the recording. Just select a random point in the middle to start listening. You might be surprised how much the things you said in a session make sense. You might think you remembered everything you said when you just woke up from a session, but you only remember what you remember, and even those fade away quickly. Listening to your recording repeatedly is like watching a movie over and over again. Each time you watch, each time you listen, you catch more details and even new information. On the other hand, if you feel like you have already processed all the information, you can handle everything nicely and you want more, then please refer to my earlier video on how to use your keyword to reconnect with your higher self by yourself. Then you can ask more questions directly to your higher self. So that's it for today. I hope you got something out of it, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.